Today I'm gonna be sharing with you the creature core setup I used to beat all levels on Apocalyptic difficulty. Now, it's not 100% what I have here. Three of the bosses I swapped out after getting them. I didn't have Killington, I didn't have the Leviathan 3 core. And I think I changed one other one, but anyway, let me get into it. So to start, I have the Shadow Clones. Clones will taunt enemies and last 30% longer. Clones will explode, dealing 2x Wrath power in a 4-meter radius, and Blade Geyser, 20% attack boost for 6 seconds after performing a Blade Geyser. Now the reason I have this, one, I do use the Shadow Clone with a couple of the other cards that I'm using because of the combos. But two, for the Blade Geyser, you don't even have to land the Blade Geyser to get the bonus. So if you're boasting 1400 plus attack and you just throw the Blade Geyser, I mean, it's great when it lands and then try to land it, but you could just literally throw it anywhere and then you have the 20% attack boost for 6 seconds. So I really do like this one right here. These two, and just the standard level 1 matching, 1% movement speed, anything that's not negative. Hellhounds, occasionally it's nice to see the Hellhound. A little bit added to the hot streak. Now this one, I mean, it's debatable whether you want to swap it out for another that you like, but melee attacks have a 5% chance. 5% chance, I mean, it happens, so it's a nice little lightning that damages and jumps. Even doesn't do a lot of damage. I don't know. As far as matching cards go, of ones I actually could have put in that I would use, I was using Mammon. That actually was one of the ones I was using. I was using Mammon. You could have put the... Oh yeah, it's not a heart. But I was using Mammon on the bottom. See, the thing is, there's not that many that fit. And it's nice. Another level 1, just a little bit added to Strife's ammo capacity. I don't really find the problem with ammo. I'll get into the other ones. I have a couple for the ammo. Another 6% for a level 2, which is good. Synergy charges 15% faster, and I have a little combo with that I'll get into in a minute. I also have all the videos of all the boards I beat on Apocalyptic difficulty, so you can see the strategies that I used. Attacks heal for 8% of damage done. Great to have healing, especially when you're using a card I'll go into in a second. Increase attack power by 15%, lowers by 2. So, I mean, it's matching, and it doesn't really lower the health much, which is kind of anti-strategy that I used for a lot of beating Apocalyptic. I'll get into that in a moment too. Increase attack power by 12 and Wrath by 12, so another 24 matching, which is really nice. Melee attacks have a 10% chance to spawn ammo. I found that between this a little bit, 5% increase on the ammo drop, and just not going crazy with guns. Like I only use a couple for the hot streak, and the hot streak doesn't burn ammo, so I didn't really have a problem with ammo on the boss fights. Occasionally when I would use it a little bit more. I'd have I might run out of the one of the primary two I was using, the ideal ones I want to start with, but I had enough ammo. A little bit extra onto the Wrath. This one is what I do think Strife needs at the level 3, and that's his hot streak build up. Because you want his hot streak to build up as fast as possible. At least I did. That way I'm not burning too much ammo up on the ones I want to hurt people with, but my main one that I don't want to burn ammo up, getting that faster, and that's really ideal. His hot streak deals a lot of damage, so the faster you get it, the better. A little bit extra on the ammo drop. which I was getting into. That's about all I found that I need. I didn't have to go crazy with any level 2s or level 3s. As long, well, the level 2 melee. That was it. Dashing deals minimal damage, just a level 1 that matches, and any dash does some damage, so. Another little level 1, I mean, I don't really care about the effect, it was just a level 1 matching. A little bit extra on the Wrath Orbs. Health increase, just another level 1. So, this one is like the strategy that I use for a lot of it. I did use the damage shield, and every time I lost the shield for the most part, I'd swap into the other character, so I'd immediately get the shield. And you can just switch, say you're planning to play with War, and you lose the shield, you can, when it's safe, just switch into Strife, then switch back to War, and now War instantaneously has another shield, so you can just disregard the replenishing itself, because you can just get it back pretty much whenever you want. I was running a little bit higher on the health was my strategy. I was running about 2,500 health, and maybe about 36, 37 on War. I didn't even die once. I died, well, that's not true. I died once on the dude that has, the dudes, he eats the grubs, I forget his name, the big fat dude. And I died like 3 times on, Molark. Well, 4 times in the entire game. I mean, I went for, so I swapped it out for my recommendations now. And I'm going for a little bit more attack. I think if you got some skill, you already beat hard, then yeah, you don't need to go crazy on the health for the shield. Just the ability to swap back into it in 2,000 and 3,500 and the health on War, is good. Another 1 matching on the attack power over here. Another 6 over here. This I did want at the level 3, and that's so they can build up their forms faster. If you play it, both of them in a board, and you make sure that they both build up theirs, it's great for boss fights. And then you can even use one if you got one mid-game, like a really tough battle where you're getting screwed over and you need to use it. You can use one of your forms, still have one for the boss wave, and then try to build that one back up before the boss wave. So potentially you can get both again for the boss wave, or at least not have to build it up that much to get it again for the boss wave. Increase max health by 10, attack power by 10, and wrath power by 10. Great one, 30% extra. That is really sweet. Rampage creates an impact blast. Don't really use it as much for the Rampage. I use it for World Ender. When I do use World Ender, 100% wider makes it good, from good to great. And the Rampage isn't bad. Occasionally I do use Rampage, and it is nice when you slam into them to do damage, because I use my Rampage to go directly into an attack, and I land my Rampage. I don't use it to get close. So then I have Stoneskin. I do use Stoneskin a lot, and I like it that it makes him immune to impacts. It also reduces 10% damage while active, and I use the Catropes a lot. The Catropes, with all the cards that I have for the Catropes, make them really good. You can really slow up enemies and then just build up your hot streak and go right into your hot streak and tear through enemies. Slows down bosses. It's great. And it drops additional 2, and I have the other one that drops an additional 2 too. So I'm dropping additional 4. I'll get into the other effects when I get to the other card. So then I have another Stoneskin. The first part isn't as important. It's not why I have the card on. Rocking Knighting and takes light damage based on wrath power each second. I mean, it's good that it's on, but it's not why I have it. I have it because the explosions will draw in enemies within 5 meters. So I wanted a little bit more into the Catropes, because on Apocalyptic you do need the health, especially you take a lot of damage if you do get hit. So it's nice that when you do use it, you have this card on. This 3, that combo right here. So while this is acting, once again you have the little Stoneskin effect, but it's more for each explosion will spawn 2 health orbs, each healing 5% of max health, drops an additional 2 caltrops. So it's worth noting that once the caltrops explode, even the ones that didn't kill enemies, they're also dropping health orbs. So you can get like a good 50% health back from all your explosions, which is really sweet. Sometimes, I mean, if you really need the health and you're low on potions, I didn't really have any problems with potions. I always had 6. I mean, occasionally I go down to 4 and I get it back up to 6. But anyway, um, yeah. So you might have to wait for them to explode if they don't kill enemies and you kill all the enemies. But you can just wait and go get health. You can even drop like 2 sets and get a bunch of health. But if you get really screwed over and you just sit back and wait to go to full health and drop a couple sets, then you can go get a potion. Enemies killed within. Oh yeah, this one I like too. Wicked Guillotine is really nice. I didn't have him on, but when I did beat it, but he's definitely good. Enemies killed, and that's all enemies will explode within a 6-meter radius, dealing heavy damage based on wrath power to nearby enemies. That one is really good, especially when you got like flea bags and all the little enemies. You just kill like one. Use the electric on Straff. Oh, it just tears them right up. Grant 10% chance on any hit to trigger a 4-meter void explosion. I'm dealing moderate damage based on wrath, which is pretty good too, because it's 10% chance and it's on any hit. So that combined with the fact that it's moderate damage is pretty sweet, especially at this point where your wrath damage is high. Synergy heals both horsemen for 80% of max health. I don't have it at all for Strife. This is simply for like when both your guys get wounded or you have one dude that's wounded like 70 to 90%. You're just going to go from Strife into War and it's going to heal both of them. So I only use it to switch into War. And that's also why I put this one on. Since I only use it to switch into War, I needed a level 2 matching, and this one, War gains 50% damage reduction for 6 seconds. So when I do heal both of them or one of them in the midst of heavy battle, then War also now has 50% damage reduction for the next 6 seconds. So I do like that. Little level 1 matching, something to put in its place. Not really dying, especially if you have the potion card on, which you probably do. Increase health by 20%, lowers attack power and wrath power by 2%, which is really sweet. I mean, it's a 21% up card. Increase max health by 2. Shadow Clone bullets will ricochet and pierce. Since we have all those other Shadow Clone cards already, especially the 2 and them dealing addition damage and them lasting longer, we might as well have their bullets ricochet and pierce too. And since we're throwing the Blade Geyser a lot just to get that extra damage when we're trying to press something big, might as well have the radius of it be larger. And since we can gain the boss fight, maintain the chaos, since we can get the chaos and anarchy forms faster, might as well have them last longer, especially when you're going to try to use them on the boss waves. Might as well have them last longer. They have huge health pools if you're going to try Apocalyptic. And just in general, if you're playing on hard or mayhem, they'll do a lot more damage than it would on Apocalyptic. Anyway, Shadow Clone. Here's another Shadow Clone. I didn't get to that, but that's why I was saying there's an additional Shadow Clone, why there's 2 of them. Also, they detonate on expiration, dealing light damage, which really isn't that important. It's more for having an additional one dealing full damage. And also the Blade Geyser, when we do land it does heal us a little bit. And then I just added this one on, as I was saying. I had Mammoth on instead, but now the 30% increase. I do like that. We went over all of these, right? Yeah, that's everything. So that is my creature core. Let me just make sure I did go over. Yep, that is my creature core setup for beating Apocalyptic. Definitely recommend it. I'll tour right through the difficulty. I hope that